Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise and this reading is for Thursday, October 15th. Okay, so 3 cards for the day to show us whatever it is that we need to know in order to evolve and heal and grow. Okay, so we have the 9 of Cups reversed, the Sun, and the 9 of Wands reversed. Okay, so I think the message here for the day, and I hope this will be, a universal type, timeless message as well, so that, you're not bound by the days to watch any of these videos. You can go back from the very beginning when I started this channel, I think in April, and the messages are all about spiritual law and, which is timeless. So I welcome you to, or I encourage you to go back and look at all of them if you have time, or as you have time. Okay, so with the theme for the day being the sun, ooh, it's beautiful. It's all about shining your light, being in your happiness and your joy, especially your joy for life, even when you're not getting everything you want. So the spiritual message with that is to know that, if we're getting what we want 50% of the time on earth, we're doing really good. But that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your unique spiritual essence. There's nothing wrong with who you are or even what you're doing in life. There can be sometimes the need to sit in the having it, whatever it is that you're trying to bring in and create. If you can be in that energy and consciousness, in the vibration of actually experiencing what you want to bring in, if you sit and meditate and do that every day, there'll be less and less of these types of times. The 9 of Cups straight up, oops, sorry about the glare, that is the energy and consciousness of knowing that within your being, within your body, within your core, within the nucleus of every cell in your body, you already have what you really need. We just forget to go back in and look for our buried treasure. We forget to, well, what we tend to do is we tend to give the outside world too much power. So we can go into those states of comparing ourselves against others. And when we do that, we go against spiritual law. We're out of alignment with spiritual law because we're all very unique. We're not meant to be compared with anyone else. So to know that is just one big step in the game, if you want to call it the game. I think there was an author back in the 50s, late 50s, Florence Scovel Shinn. She wrote a little book called The Game of Life. It's a wonderful little book. She was way ahead of her time. So I encourage everybody to find that little book. So anyway, going with your buried inner treasure, going with your inner treasure, your talents, your uniqueness, your inherent gifts within, that's going to always be the way to go. And if you do that, you'll have more of life mirroring back to you, the happiness, the joy, the success, the fulfillment. This is the highest energy card in the deck. It's right up there with everything that has to do with life mirroring back to you, the sum total of all your beliefs. The moon is in there too with, the reflection, but the sun just can, burst through any darkness. The moon is good for looking at fears, for looking at where we might be out of alignment. But it's also, the moon card will also, help find your wise unconscious places. It can be about, unconscious places, but we all have a wise, part of ourselves that we're not always conscious of because, here on earth there's a veil. There's a veil between us and all that is already perfect and loving and just always there for us. So again, it goes back to remembering that the universe is bound by law to receive us. So if we're in any place of unfulfillment, which is what the Nine of Cups reverse can be about, just go back to what you want. Feel that deep down inside of you. Have the experience of having it, whatever it is. And, for most of us, it's just being happy, right? But if you have your sights set on something specific, focus on that, bring it in you, and then once you have it in you really firmly, put it out into the universe, just like the way the sun shines. And it won't be long before it comes to you. But you have to do that every day. You also have to let go. There's a spiritual law about letting go of what like if we're holding on, if we have a strong attachment to having something, and if we don't have it the way we want it, or in the timing, we can sometimes get in this pattern of like holding too tightly, and then we cut it off. That's just the way it works. We have to be able to let go and know that no matter what, you're okay deep down inside. No matter what we have to go through on Earth, all the lack of fulfillment, because we're on a planet of duality, and things are messed up some of the times. It's not it's just not perfect. It's not perfect. You're inside your spirit. You already are whole and perfect and complete and just absolute, abundance. But oftentimes life won't be mirroring that back to you. So that's a time when you need to remember, oh, I don't have to resist life. The Nine of Wands reversed has to do with having no need to be defended, having no need to resist anything that's coming into your life. It has everything to do with, perseverance and hanging in there when it's straight up. You're almost there. But when it's reversed, sometimes we can get a little paranoid, and that's why I was, jumping into the realm of what if we don't get what we want? Then do we think that this manifesting stuff doesn't work? You know what I mean? And we lose our faith in the beauty of life, just the absolute beauty of life. And in those moments, the best thing to do is to see whatever you're resisting. So, are you meditating daily on what you really want? Are you spending too much time focusing on what you don't have? Because that will just create more of, the not having it. That will create more of the unfulfillment. Or are you hesitating for some reason on what you want? And if that's the case, maybe you're trying to figure out what it is that you really do want. And that's okay too. You can take your time with that. It's actually a really good way to go. But just know that you don't have to be 100% or even 80%, maybe not even 75% or 50% specific about that thing that you really want. You just have to put yourself in the energy of having the experience of having it, and then leave the details to the universe. Let the universe surprise you. And that will bring in even more happiness. Sometimes we can get into this energy of the Nine of Wands reversed, and we can say, oh, it just doesn't work, or it didn't come through the way I wanted, so I'm a failure. That's not true at all. It's just not true at all. So there's no reason to be on edge. There's no reason to be defensive or to resist anything. And whatever it is that comes up from within, if it's not in alignment with what you want, all that means is just that you've got a false belief that needs to be cleared out, which you can absolutely do with the sun. The sun is just the best card for success in the deck. It's all about positive intention, positive experiences, all things of positivity. It's a really beautiful card. It's also all about fun. So maybe being in a place of feeling like you don't have everything you want doesn't feel fun, and you can just go back to wanting to have fun and be in that creative, playful place. And that may just break all of this through. So let me move these aside, and let's use the Spirit Animal Oracle, get a little bit more information about this. Just a little. I think just one card will do it. What happens when we're in those spins, and when we're spinning in a place where we're in resistance and, you know, negative, pessimistic places, you know? What do we most need to know about those times? Because we all go there. Well, we've had this before. Time to collaborate. So that means you call someone else who's done what it is that you have, you know, what you're wanting to accomplish. You look for a mentor. You look for support. You look for a different point of view. You call a friend and say, I need a reality check. You know, a friend that you trust, a friend that, you know, not someone that will collude with you in your negativity, but someone that, you know, will tell you the truth. Or you go online and you look for inspiration. And again, here we go. We've gotten this before. The buffalo spirit, the universe will provide. The abundance of the universe will always provide. Just to remember that. And if you truly believe that, then of course that will be your reality. But wherever you don't, then that will be your reality as well. Because that's the only place where, you know, life is pretty much perfect, is that there is an inherent justness that happens. But it takes many, many lifetimes for it to come through often. And just because we don't see it in this lifetime doesn't mean that it's not operating under control. You know, that the justice is not operating, but it is. You know, spiritual law and karma, those laws are always working whether or not we see it. So those are some things that you just have to trust. And if you don't want to trust them or have faith in them, then that's okay too, but you could at least be open to seeing what the truth is. And in that opening, eventually you'll get to that clear place inside where you absolutely have faith, because you will experience it in your life. And the closer you are to spiritual law, the faster the answers and the messages will come through. You know, like when you're deeply in the law of, you know, self-responsibility, as in knowing that you create your own reality. And what happens is that life will mirror back to you that truth faster than someone else who is not taking self-responsibility in their lives. So it's that delicate, it's that fine balance of focusing on what you want and your inherent birthright as a co-creator. You are a creator deep down inside, and here on earth you get to co-create. So that's the task, is just to always try and balance that out and not take it personally when you don't have what you want, and not to go into resistance or any paranoid, pessimistic place. It's that balancing it out, which is, it's challenging. It's challenging, but if you always, the best advice I can ever give anybody is just always ask for the truth. Just always ask for the truth. No matter what it is, you want to know the truth. And the truth being, like, how am I sabotaging myself? What changes do I need to be making? Let me think. What else? Basically, just where could I be out of truth would be the question I always ask myself. Like, what false belief is spinning around and controlling, the situation? Because if you're unconscious of that one false belief, then that's the thing that needs to be tackled first. You know, some of us have false beliefs around, deserving. It's always something around self-esteem and self-worth. So just knowing that you're worthy of all that the universe shines out all the time, all this love and abundance, it's always there. We just have to open to it. And that's the only real challenge, is to open to it. Open to it and collaborate with others who maybe have already done it, or they're not stuck in the same place that you are, and then maybe they're stuck in a different place and you can help them out. Yeah, it's like teamwork. So, okay, well, that's all I have to say for that. You guys take good care. Bye.